Hey there. So I have been single and living by myself for many years now. And in this video, I'm going to share with you some of the things that I needed to do to be able to do that. My name is LindaGRobert. I am your Back in the Groove Again coach, and I am here to help you live your best life now. So I was married 3 times. And yes, you heard me, 3 times. And when I first split up in my 20s, I really had a difficult time being single. I was in my 20s. I went out every weekend. Sometimes I went out at night as well, and I hired babysitters for my kids. I just couldn't stand being alone and I didn't know what to do with myself. So tip number 1 is get to know yourself. When you were with somebody, you might have been a different person. And now that you're single, you might be not recognizing who you are, but start paying attention to things that you like, things that make you unique. For example, maybe you like to eat a certain thing and your partner didn't, but you did. And you never did eat it with him, but now you do. That's an example. Maybe you do like listening to certain music, but you didn't listen to that music because your partner didn't like to listen to that music. So really start paying attention to things you like. So when you're walking down the streets and you're noticing how nice this thing is, or when you're walking at the grocery store and you're noticing certain things that attract your eye, those are examples of ways that you can get to know you. Start knowing what you like, what your preferences are. Start knowing what makes you upset, what makes you happy. Start knowing why people know and like you. Why do people like you? Start paying attention to things that you enjoy reading, movies that you enjoy watching. Just start getting to know who you are. That's number 1. Number 2, I do think that when you live by yourself, it's important to establish a routine, because let's face it, it's easy to get lost in time and waste a lot of time when we live by ourselves, especially when we're retired or semi-retired, or when we come back from work, for example. So have a routine. For example, in the morning, what time are you going to wake up? Try to wake up at the same time every day. And then what are you going to do after that? Is that when you make yourself a cup of coffee? Make yourself a cup of coffee. And after that, maybe you get dressed. So establish a routine as soon as you can. The routine is going to be very different than the routine you had when you were with your partner. You might want to, play around with the routine, because maybe the routine that you had before isn't working now, now that you're a single person living maybe by yourself too. So think about your energy level too. When do you get more energy during the day? For example, I know that I have more energy during the morning than I do in the evening. So I'm going to do most of my work things in the morning instead of in the afternoons, or instead of in the evenings. And so I will wake up in the morning and I'll start teaching, or I'll start coaching, in the morning, because that's part of my routine, but it's also part of my level of energy as well. And of course, the level of energy is part of who you are, right? If you know that you have more energy during the morning as opposed to at night, then you're going to want to establish a routine that goes with your level of energy. So that's tip number 2, is establish a routine. Tip number 3 is, of course, to maintain your friendships. Now, you might have different friends now that you're single. Okay. If you don't have any friends, well, it's time that you start going to clubs, going to activities that are based on your interests, so that you could start developing friendships. Go to some meetups so that you can start meeting friends, and then start maintaining those friendships. Call them up for a coffee, invite them over for a bite to eat, for example. You may also want to, if you're interested in certain groups yourself, you may also want to create your own group. When I was single and I was sitting on the couch being so lazy quite a few years ago now. And I remember sitting down thinking, I've got to do something to get off my couch, because I knew that if I continued sitting on my couch, I would get lazy and maybe even get fat. So I decided to put a walk out on one of the meetups. So I scheduled a walk on a meetup. And at first, I didn't have anybody join me on the walk at all. But over time, I had a lot of people joining me. So not only was I getting exercise by going on Sundays and on Tuesdays and Thursdays, walking for about an hour and a half, but I also met a lot of friends. In fact, a lot of my friends now, those that live in Ottawa, I've met through my walk. So you want to get friends. Think of ways that you can find friends. I found it through my walks, for example, but you also want to maintain your friendships. And the other thing that I'm going to suggest, and this is the last tip for this video, is to journal. Journal what it means for you to be single. Journal what it means for you to do things on your own. Journal things that you want to do now that you're single, because it's really not all about blah. I enjoy being single. I actually enjoy also being on my own. Now, I didn't when I first got separated to husband number 2. It took a long time for me to get used to enjoying my own company. But now I love my own company. Of course, I love the company of my friends as well, but I can be on my own. So, of course, you also want to journal, right? Journal about what it means for you to be single. Maybe you don't like it right now. That's okay. What would you need to do to start enjoying being single again? You want to talk about what you could do to enjoy your life as a single person. You want to journal about what you could start doing as a single person. Maybe you could start going to restaurants more. Maybe you could start walking by yourself more, or maybe inviting other people to walk with you. So start journaling about what it's like for you to be a single person. And of course, if you want to talk more about this is what I'm here for, right? I'm Linda, your Back in the Groove Again coach. I'm here to help you live your best life right now as a single person. And if you want to incorporate traveling, of course, as a single person, I'm a travel coach too. I'm here to help you come up with a wonderful trip for you. All right, take care. Bye-bye now.